No one on station KX-91 expected anything strange to happen that day. The station was one of the largest trade hubs in the Orion sector. Ships came and went every minute. Aliens of all shapes walked its long metal halls. Merchants shouted prices. Guards watched silently. Everything felt normal. Especially for Ethan Cole. Ethan was a human cargo analyst. Not a soldier. Not a hero. Just a quiet man doing paperwork. He wore a plain jacket and carried a data pad everywhere. Most aliens ignored him. Humans were still considered weak by many races. Too soft. Too emotional. Too short-lived. Ethan heard those thoughts many times, but he never argued. That day, Ethan stood near Dock 7, checking shipment codes. He was tired. Hungry. Ready to finish his shift and return to his small room. Then the station lights flickered. A deep silence spread through Dock 7. Footsteps echoed, heavy and slow. Ethan looked up. The crowd split apart as a tall armored alien woman walked forward. She was at least 7 feet tall. Her armor was dark red, covered in old battle marks. A long blade rested on her back. Her eyes glowed gold. People stepped away from her. Some whispered in fear. She's a Varkel. A war species. Don't look at her. Ethan swallowed. Varkels were known across the galaxy for 2 things. They were amazing warriors. And they took marriage very seriously. The alien woman stopped directly in front of Ethan. She stared at him. Long. Silent, Ethan felt every eye on him. Slowly, she raised her hand. Ethan's heart raced. Is she going to arrest me? Kill me? Instead, she spoke. Her voice was deep, clear, and strong. Human. I'm sorry, he said slowly. Your mother. The Varkel woman nodded. Yes. Ethan felt like his brain stopped working. This was not a joke. Varkels never joked about family. Your mother, Ethan repeated, wants to marry me. Yes, the woman said. She saw you. That's nice. Ethan said weakly. Whispers turned into loud talk. Is this a challenge? A Varkel marriage request is sacred. That human will die if he refuses. Ethan felt sweat on his neck. He had heard the rules. Refusing a Varkel marriage offer could be taken as deep insult. Sometimes it ended in blood. I don't understand, Ethan said honestly. Why me? The Varkel woman straightened. Because, she said, you are human. That confused Ethan even more. Humans are gentle, she continued. They survive without claws. They protect without armor. They fight without hatred. She paused. My mother respects that. The dock guards shifted nervously. One Varkel elder appeared from the crowd. Old scars crossed his face. War daughter Karin, the elder said, you bring this question in public. Yes, Karin replied. Humans value honesty. All eyes returned to Ethan. He felt very small. I'm just a worker, Ethan said. I'm not important. Karin tilted her head. That is what makes you dangerous, she said. The elder growled softly. Human, he said, do you understand what this means? Ethan shook his head. If you accept, the elder continued, you will be tied to a Varkel bloodline. Allies, and enemies. Ethan looked at the crowd. Aliens stared at him differently now, not weak. Not small. Watched. If you refuse, the elder said, it may be seen as shame. Ethan took a slow breath. He thought of Earth. Of humans always being judged. Always being underestimated. He raised his head. I don't know your customs, Ethan said carefully. But humans don't choose me. Then she smiled. A real smile. That is acceptable, she said. My mother likes courage. She activated a hollow device. A large image appeared. A massive Varkel woman, older, powerful, wearing a cooking apron over battle armor. One hand held a tray of bread. The other held a war hammer. She looked straight at Ethan. Human, the woman said warmly, I made food. And plans. The doc went silent again. Ethan realized something important. This was no joke. No accident. Something had started. And the galaxy was watching. Ethan blinked at the hollow image of the Varkel mother. She looked impossible. Big. Strong. Dangerous. And, somehow comforting with that warm smile. Bread, and a war hammer, Ethan muttered to himself. I don't even know which to eat first. Karin's golden eyes glowed faintly. Do not mistake kindness for weakness, human. My mother, she is lethal. But she also bakes better than any chef in the Orion sector. Ethan swallowed. Bakes, or kills. The dock crowd murmured. Traders leaned on walls. Guards shifted nervously. Some aliens whispered to each other, he is brave, or very stupid. Ethan Cole, Karin said, you will come with me to meet my mother. You will see her intentions, and decide. Ethan hesitated. His mind screamed run, but his body froze. Run, and possibly insult the Varkel bloodline. He followed Karin through the twisting corridors of Station KX-91. Every door they passed opened into more shadows. Rusted pipes, flickering lights. Somewhere, machinery hummed. Somewhere else, an alien screamed in anger, or perhaps joy. Finally, they reached a massive lift. Karin pressed her palm to the panel. The doors opened with a hiss. Inside was, almost a palace. Walls of black metal, engraved with battle scenes. Flames danced in controlled columns. And in the center stood the Varkel mother. She was huge. Wider than Karin. Her armor had golden symbols. A soft apron covered the chest plate. Smoke rose from her tray of freshly baked bread. Human, she said in a voice like rolling thunder, welcome. Ethan stepped forward. I'm honored. The mother smiled. Teeth like pearls, hands strong enough to crush steel. She offered him a piece of bread. Eat. If you survive my baking, you may survive my family. Ethan looked at it. Golden crust. Soft inside. Smelled heavenly. His stomach growled. He took a bite. The flavor exploded. Sweet. Savory. Like nothing he ever had on Earth, or any human colony. Not bad, he said, trying to hide his surprise. The Varkel mother's eyes narrowed. Not bad. Human, you are very bold. She chuckled, a sound like a rolling thunderstorm. Boldness is, respected. Ethan laughed nervously. I guess bold humans survive. Karin raised an eyebrow. Boldness also draws attention, dangerous attention. Before Ethan could ask, alarms blared. Red lights flashed. A booming voice echoed through the palace. Intruders. Intruders in the Varkel family quarters. The mother's smile disappeared. In an instant, she held her war hammer. Ethan froze. Karin drew her blade. Human, stay close. Ethan's heart pounded. He had signed up for a meeting with a dangerous alien mother, not a full-scale attack. But now, he had no choice. The Varkel mother's hands moved with terrifying speed. In a single motion, she swept a group of intruders off their feet, sending them crashing into the walls. Ethan stumbled backward. Wait, are you killing them? Teaching a lesson, the mother said calmly. She returned to her bread tray, as if nothing happened. Ethan stared, mouth open. "This is normal for you," he whispered. Karin smirked. "This is family dinner for the Varkel." Ethan blinked. "Dinner, yes, deadly dinner." The alarm stopped. Silence fell. Only the smell of baked bread remained. The mother leaned down, towering over Ethan. "Human, you must choose. Marry into the Varkel family, or walk away and face dishonor." Ethan swallowed. The weight of the galaxy seemed to press on him. Every alien, every traitor, every soldier in the station could sense this moment. He remembered Earth. How humans were always underestimated. Thought weak. Thought fragile. And yet, here he was, facing a mother who could crush worlds, and a daughter who respected his courage. "Okay," Ethan said finally, his voice steady. "I want to meet the family properly first. Learn your customs. Then I will decide." The Varkel mother's eyes glowed faintly. "Wise. Most humans would panic, or flee. You survive by learning." Ethan nodded. For the first time, he felt respected. He looked at Karin. She gave a small nod. They moved to a massive hall where the rest of the Varkel family waited. And in that moment, Ethan realized one truth. Being underestimated could sometimes be the greatest advantage in the galaxy. Ethan stepped into the massive hall. The air smelled of baked bread and metal, warm and dangerous. The Varkel family sat around a long table, each member larger than most humans he had ever seen. Some flexed their claws. Others polished blades. All of them stared at him. He felt small. Really small. Karin whispered beside him, "Remember, human, courage matters. Boldness matters. Cleverness matters even more." Ethan nodded. He tried to look confident, though his hands shook slightly. The Varkel mother rose from her seat. Her eyes glowed like molten gold. "Human," she said, "you have faced our daughter. You have survived our tests, mostly. Now you must show why humans deserve respect." Ethan blinked. "I show respect, how?" The mother smiled. "By choice, and action. Pick wisely." Suddenly, the doors slammed open. More intruders stormed the hall, rogue mercenaries hired by alien gangs who hated humans. They wanted chaos. They wanted to humiliate a human in front of the Varkels. Ethan froze. Then Karin growled, "Human, now." Instinct took over. He grabbed a nearby metal rod, just a piece of the hall equipment, and swung it. Not to kill, but to block. He dodged a swinging energy blade. He rolled under a table. He kicked a mercenary off balance. The Varkel mother laughed, deep, booming laughter that echoed through the hall. Interesting human. Clever. Quick. Ethan realized something. Humans were underestimated because they thought carefully, adapted fast, and never gave up. He dodged another attack, then grabbed a fallen plate of bread and threw it at a mercenary's face. Surprised, the mercenary slipped on crumbs. Ethan kicked him gently, hard enough to send him sprawling, not to hurt. Karin raised her blade and swept through the rest of the intruders with precision. The mother's war hammer knocked two more unconscious. When the chaos ended, the hall was quiet. The intruders groaned on the floor, defeated but alive. Ethan stood, breathing heavily. He looked around. Every Varkel in the room stared at him. Some in admiration. Some in disbelief. The Varkel mother approached him. "Human," she said, placing her huge hand on his shoulder, "you have courage. You have cleverness. You respect life. You survive where others would fail." Ethan smiled weakly. I try my best. The mother laughed again. That is why humans are stronger than most think. They may be small, soft, fragile, but they endure. And they adapt. She leaned closer. And that is why you are worthy of marriage into my family. Ethan's heart pounded. He never thought he would hear words like these from an alien war mother. Karin stepped forward. Human, do you accept? Ethan thought of Earth. He thought of humans always underestimated. Always mocked. Always pushed aside. And he thought of the Varkels, not just dangerous warriors, but beings who respected strength, courage, and honor. I accept, Ethan said, slowly and clearly. The Varkel mother smiled. Her eyes glowed bright gold. Good. Now you are part of the Varkel bloodline. Allies, and family. You will survive, and you will thrive. The family cheered. Karin laughed softly. Welcome, human. I knew you were more than weak flesh and bone. Ethan laughed too. Nervous. Excited. Alive. He realized something important. Being human, underestimated, weak, soft, could sometimes be the greatest weapon in the galaxy. The mother handed him another piece of bread. Eat. You earned it. Ethan bit into it. Sweet, warm, like victory itself. For the first time, he felt respected. Not as a weak human. Not as a small cargo worker. But as a human who could face warriors, survive chaos, and even earn the respect of one of the deadliest species in the galaxy. And in that moment, Ethan understood the truth of the stars. Humans may be soft, but sometimes